Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be making some more of these Mosaic journal cards. And I definitely had some fun doing them, and they're really easy to do and really pretty, I think. White on the back for a journal card, little decoration on there, fun stuff. So let me show you how we did this. I sort of got inspiration from something I did a while ago. I saw this when I was cleaning up, were these half-inch squares that I glued half-inch strips, and then I ended up cutting it and making this kind of mosaic card, which I thought was definitely fun to do. But I thought it'd be fun to do with my oxide inks that I have. Very pretty and very fun. So let me show you how I did them. So what I did was I found some of my cardstock that is white on the back. It didn't matter what the front color was because it's going to get covered or glued down in some way, so it is fine. So I started out with 4.5 by 6.5 inch squares. These were both, these were all the same size. These are 4.5 by 6.5. And I have two of them because I'm gonna make two of them. And then I took two of the 4.5 by 6.5, but I cut them down to 4 by 6 because I needed it to be a little smaller so that when I mosaiced it, it became a little bigger. And this is probably even still too big because I cut 1 inch squares. So the 4 by 6, this ends up being 4, but I only used 5 on this one. So I ended up actually, there was a row of colors that I didn't use on it. But I probably could have squished it in a little bit more, put the mosaic a little closer, and been able to fit them all. So I'll probably try that on the next one, see how it goes. But yeah, so that's my inspiration. What I have done so far is I do have the two 4.5 by 6s, and I've already covered them and grunged them up. This was starting out as my lovely phone book that I've used before. It started in more white and now it is grunged. And this was music paper that was whiter and I have grunged it. This I used tea dye ink for it, and this I used the antique linen and I believe some of my, oh, what's it called? Ground espresso to ink that up. So very grungy, but most of it gets covered, so I don't think it's a big a deal. I just didn't want it the bright white, but you could definitely do it bright white if you wanted to. Okay, so let's get our sample stuff out of the way and the not used stuff out of the way, and let's get something to draw on. So what I did on this was used my ink oxides and just made some pretty colors. And this first one I started with, I had like the very light green, middle green, and then some lighter purple and darker purple. So, because I got that purple journal coming up. But I think I'm going to try some different colors on this one. I think I'm going to start with orange. You look like you're orange. And we are just going to ink it away and see what we can do to blend some. Now, I found that if we do smaller strips, it ends up being a little bit better because then they get a little bit closer. And I suppose I should just bring all my little colored things out here. Let's see, that looks like about it. I only got 2 purples and 2 reds somehow. That's what happens when you got too many choices. Oh, that's really red. Okay, let's say that is definitely the, let's use this one. Oops, not that way. And I'm gonna take a wet cloth and try to blend some of these, and I also have some sprays that I'm going to use to kind of have some fun with them. All right, so shall we go with a little bit of green next? I think some green would be fun. I think you are this one. Probably should put some names on these or something, but I think if they're close enough, they're going to be okay. And see what I can do to blend. And ink on my fingers. What else is new, right? Should I go to purple? I think we should go to purple or blue. And clean my fingers off a little bit. Oh yeah, they got some ink on them. And then let's just use this to, now I could also, I do have my spray. Spray a little water on there. Let that oxidize for a moment. And while that is oxidizing and bending, and before I spray my other stuff, I think I'm going to make the next one. Okay, lost my card. There it is. Oops, I had some ink on it. All right, so should we go with some? I'm gonna go with some different colors on this one. Let me start with the pinks and reds and blues. Let's see what we get with those. Put some of these away. A little bit of the antique linen and saltwater taffy. I think it just seems like the more colors that you get in there, the better chance you have of getting a nice blend in there. Get that out of the way. Okay, and bit of red. And blue. Get that mixed in with the red a little bit and get a little bit of purplish color in there. Yeah, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, let's get my towel and we'll do a little spritz. All right, and a little bit of spritz. Okay, put that to the side to dry a little bit, and this has done some fun oxidizing. All right, let's see what we can spray on this. Okay, getting pretty dry here. So this first one I pulled, I got Spice Marmalade and Peeled Paint and Villainous Potion. They are the Distress Spritz, so they got a bit of a shine to them. And I did the other one in opposites color, so like the purple spray here and the marmalade spray there. And yeah, let's go from there. Let's find my makeshift backdrop here. Seems to be working okay. All right, give that a good shake, and we're gonna put a couple drops of the purple near the top, and we'll do the, it's pretty mixed, we'll do the Spice Marmalade near the purple. Oh, there we go. Oops, clean it off. All right, I think I'm gonna do a couple splotches of the green. Whoop, that's a lot of green. Okay. All right, I think those are fun. So let's get those away, and let's get those chance to dry. And for this one, let's find some fun colors for that one. All Right, for this one, I tracked down, I have some saltwater taffy, which would be great opposite there. And then I've got the middle of the road fired brick, be fun up there, and then tumbled glass, which would be fun up there. So we're gonna start with a little tumbled glass near the top. Beautiful. And let's put a little bit of the fired brick sort of in the middle. And we'll flip this around. Whoops. And do the saltwater taffy. I don't think I've used this one before. Nope, I haven't. Here at the top. Okay. Now hopefully you can see the shine on those. It might be hard to see, but they are very, very fun. I hope you can see this. It's just gorgeous. Almost feel bad about cutting it apart. Okay, get the faux background out of the way, and let's see if we can get these cut. Okay, get that out of the way. All right, let's get these guys out of the way. I don't think I need to use these anymore. Now looking at these, boy, these would be pretty background cards. Really do like them. But you can see why it doesn't matter what color's on there, because these are going to get glued down. So it didn't really matter because the backside was white. So, all right. So again, we're going to cut these down to 1-inch squares. So this was 4 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 3. I'm going to try to keep them in order. Cut it down to 2. And to 1. A little wet still there. Probably should wait it a little bit till it dried. Okay, we'll do this one. Actually, I'm going to wait a little bit longer for that to dry. All right, so this one we got to cut the opposite direction into 1-inch strips. So I'm going to stack them together and see if I can cut them all together. All right, this started at 5 or 6, so we're going to go down to 5. Again, try to keep them together. And down to 4. Whoops. And all right, last one, 1 inch. Definitely should wait a little bit for these to dry a little bit more. I think we're going to be okay. All right, you go with that one, that one, that one. Okay, so we have the six piles, and you can see the difference in color for them. So we're going to go this way, so I know what was the top and what was the bottom. Okay, now we will take one of these cards, and we're going to go ahead and turn it this way and see if I can. Right, so if you got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the 6 on there. very, very hard to get that on there. All right, I'm going to try to get the 6 on there. And I can just come back and angle that. Just want to get all the yeah, let's do it. Okay, I am going to use the art glitter glue so it gets stuck on pretty good. And I probably should use the stick glue. All right, like I said, I'm gonna round that a bit when all is said and done. And I'm going to try to make sure that if these have certain colors, like there's more orange near the top, green near the bottom, so it follows the suit of the mosaic. Oops. Well, look what I did. This was supposed to be next. Green on the top, purple on the bottom. And that'll work. It'll work. All right, so I'm thinking instead of cutting it down a ½ inch when I did it, that maybe I should have cut it down more like, instead of doing, these main cards were 4.5 by 6.5, maybe make this 3.5 by 5.5 and be able to spread it out a little better. So I might cut this down a little bit before I cut it into squares, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so for this to see how this goes, now I am not a perfectionist by any means. These are going to end up not being lined up. There's a distinct possibility that these could be not exactly lined up. So if you need to have that happen, you might want to put some ruler marks or measure. That's probably a good idea, but for me, I'm just going to eyeball them. It is a rustic mosaic. All right, so now I know where these 4 lines are going to go and to do the rest. So I'm going to glue the rest of these, and I will be happy. All right, so this has more yellow at the top, more orange at the bottom. All right, so as you can see, not perfectly straight, a little kind of wonk. You can still see the card in the back with the hints of numbers and a little bit grungy. Very fun. Now, if you really were ambitious, you would probably go ahead and ink some of these, but not going to happen. All right, I think, yep, that's the one I used. Go ahead and round these back down. Oops. There we go. Just gonna re-nip the edge of the cards, but not the whole thing. Really could go either direction. Just because I started with the yellow on top doesn't mean it, but I guess if you want to see the numbers correctly. So pretty. I love it. Okay, so for the next one, I am going to do it off camera because it's going to be the same process. But again, I think I might cut this down another ½ an inch before I start the square. So this was 4. So I'm gonna cut a ¼ inch off each side. All right, so 3½. Now how can I do that though? Because I have 1-inch squares. All right, a little smaller. So what if I just figure out what half is, cut it in half, and then cut it in half again? And they might not be square. So these are 1.5 inches, so 3/4. There'd be 3/4 squares. I could deal with that, 3/4 squares. Well, I seem to not be able to do math. So what if I do it like a mosaic? Big, small, big, small. I could do that. All right, let's do that. So this is more of an eclectic mosaic instead of a very straightforward mosaic, right? And the orangey kind of sunset, I think it's going to end up working. It could be a total disaster, but we will see. All right, so if we do big, small, Big, small, big, small. It's amazing how even though I made them smaller, they ended up being still taking up a whole card. Yeah, we're gonna go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Right, right. All right, so this one, I'm gonna round it ahead of time. And just put it inside there a little bit. I think they're so pretty. I really do. Caddy Wonk started with a little smaller square. Again, if I had to do it differently, I'd probably figure out a way to do exact measurements, cut them when they're dry, and go from there. But there's definitely a sense of fun and whimsy with them being, you know, all different directions. I really do like on the music sheet with the lines in the back. That is fun. And this one on the phone book. Oh, phone book's this way. Numbers, names. So pretty. And a decorated one. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to have some fun and figure out what I want to put on these to decorate. But not today. Today I'm spent. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, even if it was a bit chaotic. And any questions you have about what I did or what I should have done or comments, I'd love to hear them. And a thumbs up would be awesome. Help out for the algorithm, as they say. All right, well, that is going to be it for me today. Appreciate each and every one of you, especially the ones that stuck out to the end here. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much. and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.